I burned down my own most profitable store just to bankrupt my landlord. And he still doesn't understand how it happened. My name is Ethan Carter. 3 years ago, I poured everything I had into a dying convenience store on a quiet block in Brooklyn. It barely cleared $1,000 a day. Half-empty shelves, a broken fridge, lights that flickered like the place was already gone. The previous owner handed me the keys and said, "You won't make money here." He was wrong. The street had traffic. What it lacked was strategy. That first month, I barely slept. I was at the wholesale market before sunrise, then behind the counter all day, watching every customer. What they bought, what they asked for, what they ignored. Patterns don't lie. 90% of consistent traffic came for one thing: cigarettes. So I made the only move that mattered. I secured a tobacco license. That license became the spine of the business. Everything else followed. Cigarettes at the front, drinks and snacks placed for impulse. Customers came in for 1 pack and left with 3 extra items. Average tickets climbed from $7 to $18. Daily revenue went from hundreds to thousands. Eventually, close to 10,000. For the first time, I wasn't surviving. I was building. That's when my landlord, Robert Hayes, started paying attention. At first, he just observed. Then came the questions. Sales volume, margins, suppliers. He wasn't curious. He was studying me. One afternoon, he stood behind my register, staring at the numbers like they already belonged to him. 3 days before my lease expired, he called me upstairs. "I'm taking the store back," he said. "I'll run it myself. No negotiation. No compensation." His wife stood beside him, flipping through my reports like she was reviewing a guaranteed return. To them, it wasn't a store dot, it was a finished system. I could have fought it, delayed it, taken it to court. I didn't. Because in that moment, I realized something they hadn't. The leverage was never the space dot, it was the engine inside it. That night, I sat alone in the dark store and broke it down. Why did this place make money? Not the location, not the pricing. Cigarettes, they drove traffic. Traffic drove everything else. Remove that, and the entire structure collapses. So I made a decision. Over the next few days, I ran the store like nothing had changed. Quietly, I cleared non-essential inventory, documented every supplier, every pattern, every operational detail. Then I did the only thing that mattered. I canceled the tobacco license. The clerk looked at me twice. "You sure? These are hard to get." I said yes, because I knew exactly what I was holding. When I signed the paperwork, I wasn't losing anything. I was pulling the pin. I didn't go back on reopening day, but I could imagine it. Balloons, smiles, celebration. Within an hour, the cracks showed. Customers walked in, asked for cigarettes, and walked out the moment they heard no. No hesitation. No substitutes. Prices dropped. Promotions started. Nothing worked. Because people weren't there to browse. They came for one thing. And everything else depended on it. 3 days in, revenue collapsed. 2 weeks in, inventory piled up. A month later, Robert called me. For the first time, his voice was different. He offered to lease the store back to me. Lower rent. 3 years ago, I asked him for a chance. Now he was asking me. I said no, not out of anger. I just didn't need it anymore. Then they tried something else. They went online, edited clips, twisted the story, painted me as the problem. For a moment, it worked until I responded. I don't argue with opinions. I release data. 3 years of footage, contracts, records, including video of them breaking into my storage at night. The narrative flipped overnight. They stopped being victims. I stopped being invisible. A few retail groups reached out after that. Their offers were higher than I expected. They didn't want the store. They wanted the way I think. That's when it clicked. Destroying that business wasn't a loss. It was leverage. 6 months later, I opened 3 new locations across the city, all fully licensed, all built on the same system. Robert's store is still there. Lights on. Shelves full, empty. Sometimes I pass by and look inside. I never walk in. Because I understand something he never did. A business without its core isn't a business. It's just a shell.